Hey everyone, TimaeuSS here and welcome to another Reverse1999 video. So we have the global release tier list for Reverse1999. In this video, I'll show you how to use the tier list properly and showcase some of the best units. I'm not going to go through everything just because I don't want to make this into an hour-long video. I'll show you some of the best units and the ones you definitely need to look out for, as this tier list has been updated to reflect the future meta as well, and includes the CN units. So first things first, I'll have the link down in the description, and huge shout out to the contributing members that made this. And of course, we do have access to the content creator server for Reverse1999 Global, so that for release we were able to test the units and making sure that they are actually that good. And please understand there are two tabs at the moment. One is early game and one is late game. You can see here they're currently separated by insight. So early game, you go to insight 2, and late game is insight 3 and plus. And how this changes is I'm going to show you in game as well. If you take a look at some of the units, for example, Charlie, one of the best units, this is at insight maxed, right? Where at the bottom insight, you can see that each different insight level, you gain additional bonuses to the character, whether it be skills or additional stats. It basically gives a huge boost to the unit, and it's quite crucial to how the unit functions. So that's what we mean here by the early game to late game in terms of the ranking. Now, I'm not going to go over, like I've said, all of the units in S all the way down to D or even F tier, but we will go over some of the units that are S tier in the early game as well as late game, and those units often do have a future in the upcoming patches as well, all the way up to 1.4, which is the current patch in CN. So without further ado, let's start with everyone's favorite waifu, Eternity. Starting us off, we have Eternity, a super strong damage dealer that can self-sustain as well. She is one of the 3 units that's available in the beginner's banner, and I mean, why would you not go for her? Absolutely gorgeous. And her power really kicks in after Insight 1, and she gains immunity to bleed, corrode, and poison. And when a round starts, she gains a stack of the Blood of Longevity. It stacks up to 5 times and gives her increased damage and damage heal, and that's where the sustainability comes from, because her kit revolves around her taking damage from her own skills and doing massive amounts of damage to the enemies, but with a healer as well as her lifesteal, she will be able to keep up. Now, of course, inside, you might be confused about how this works. This is not the dupe system. The dupe system in this game is called Portray, and inside is essentially limit break without using dupes. It's using material. So, for example, we take out Bloom Party here, and if we look at the inside upgrades, these are mats that, of course, you can farm as well. So don't worry about not unlocking her full potential if you don't pull for multiple copies of her. So Eternity, definitely what I will be going for personally on the beginner's banner, and a huge damage dealer, and often surprise you by being able to solo some content. And next is Centurion, arguably one of the best units in the game. The only downside is not as easily obtained in comparison to Charlie or Eternity, but still nonetheless very strong. There's only 1.5% chance to obtain a 6-star in the general pool, but if you do get Centurion, or if you go for her for the reroll target, then she is absolutely bonkers. Now, the reason why she is so good is because she does it all. She can do single target damage, she can do AoE damage, and she can self-sustain as well. Even more so, I would say, than Eternity, in the sense that her entire kit revolves around the Moxie. And Moxie is the little bar that you'll see under your HP that is kind of your charge gauge that fills up when you're ready to use your ultimate. And of course, and this beast of a unit, Centurion, gains additional damage when you have Moxie, and when you spend Moxie after Insight 3, you will be able to heal. Look at this, massive amounts of heal, absolutely strong. So you can see that at level Insight 1, 5 Moxie, you'll get 30% free, 30% damage, and at Insight 3, when you spend your Moxie, I mean, it's 1 for 20% of max HP heal, so that's quite a lot. And of course, Centurion is undoubtedly one of the best units, because not only can you do single target, you can also do AoE as well. Super strong, super broken, and definitely a reroll target if you have the patience to go for it. Now, the last notable damage dealer that we're going to talk about on the tier list is Charlie. And that's right, Charlie is a 5-star, which means it's going to be a lot easier to pull for the unit as well as get the dupes. And let me tell you, Charlie's dupes are absolutely amazing. Starting at dupe number 3, which is base plus 3 copies, so 4 copies total, you'll see Charlie outdamage a ton of the 6 stars. And yes, for those of you that are new to the game, 5 stars are the SRs in this game and 6 stars are the SSR. So Charlie, an SR unit, is going to outdamage most SSR units at max dupes, which is absolutely crazy. Now, the multipliers on the skills are insane. Just look at these humongous multipliers, not to mention that Charlie will get additional damage on top of the already big multipliers just due to the inside upgrades as well as the portrait, which are the dupe upgrades. You can see that it's going to be really strong, and it's absolutely amazing. I think it's really good that we have a very accessible rate up unit that is of lower rarity SR unit, because the Sotheby banner will be available at launch and Charlie will be the rate up 4-star, or sorry, 5-star, the SR, right, the SR unit available on that banner. So yes, definitely one of the best damage dealers, even all the way down to the end game, and you can't go wrong with getting Charlie as your main damage dealer. Now for the other 2 damage dealers, Regulus and Lydia, I'm not going to talk too much about them because for the early game they're not as good as Eternity. So if you're rerolling, you're probably going for Eternity. But if you like Regulus as a character, of course you can build her as a crit team with the right buffers. But for me personally, those 3 are the main ones I'm going to talk about in terms of damage dealers, because we still have the supporting cast as well as the survival or the healers to cover in the next few sections. So moving on to the supports, and you can already see that the tier list is broken down into damage dealers, supports, and survival. And with the teams being 3 units plus a substitute, of course you can just build a damage dealer with a synergistic support plus a survival, keeping the entire team alive. And this is a good way to take a look at what are the best units for that category. So moving on, An Lee is definitely a super versatile support, and she is absolutely fantastic. Now her unique skill is her inside one. When it starts, it switches between break time and exorcism time, and this is super insane because during the break time she takes less damage, but the exorcism time allows her to get bonus damage, penetration, as well as this insane skill that upgrades her rightmost incantation by 1. So her stars here, if it's a 1 goes to 2, if it's 2 goes to 3 without costing anything, and that's super good because it allows you to spend the APs elsewhere using units or attacks and getting their skills off instead of wasting 1 for An Lee. So super great in that regard. And of course she is used across various content. You'll see her in the future meta as well, so fantastic unit as a support. And next we have Bkornblume, who is, I would say, half damage dealer, half support, and she is a 5-star, which yes, in this game again means an SR unit and much easier to obtain. And her character model is quite cute as well. However, she is definitely one of the best supporting units for reality teams just due to this debuff. It's absolutely insane. All enemies suffer reality defense down by 15% and damage taken by 15%. So this is a super strong debuff, and of course she does pretty decent damage and offers some control as well in the form of seal, so not bad as a support. But you can see here, even on the typing breakdown, she's debuff, control, and also burst damage. So definitely a unit to look out for, and being an SR unit or 5-star unit, one that a lot of people would get. And the last S tier on the support list is going to be Voyager, an SSR or 6-star unit that has, I would say, the best in-game animation or artwork. Look at this. Oh my god, this is absolutely beautiful. Now she isn't as easy to use in comparison to the other supports because she is quite AP hungry. She is a very good addition to the crit orientated teams, and most importantly, she applies counter consistently to the rest of your team, which means when the enemy attacks you, you will be able to retaliate. And her crowd control ability and her seal are definitely great to have as well. But initially, when you're starting out with her, before you get her into the higher insights, it's gonna be difficult playing with her and understanding how her kit and passive works. So don't be afraid to try her out, but it definitely does take a lot of practice to use her at her maximum potential. Now, the final two units are in the survival camp, which means they are the ones responsible for keeping your team alive and healthy, with Medicine Pocket being S tier in early as well as late game. But let's talk about Balloon Party first. Balloon Party is a 5-star unit that is, yes, that's right, that's an SR rarity in this game, so much easier to get. And her balloons becomes permanent after Insight 3, and those balloons offer damage reduction, and she can actually deal decent support damage with defense scaling. So this is really good because those balloons will offer damage reduction to the team, and they'll quote-unquote counter and offer that damage support as well. And on top of that, she gets to heal the team. So overall, a very nice 5-star or SR rarity unit that is welcome in any form of team comp, and definitely one that players will enjoy. And last but certainly not least, Medicine Pocket is the final S tier unit that we'll cover in this tier list video, being in the survival camp to help keep the team alive and healthy. Now, Medicine Pocket, look at this artwork, so much personality in there. And looking at the insight, after casting an ultimate, you'll heal your allies, and also when the HP falls below 50%, Medicine Pocket will do more healing. And you can see that she offers healing, debuff, as well as control, because if you take a look at the skill, she has this permanent plus 20% upkeep almost. If you cast this every turn, it's the easiest and most consistent source of 20% damage taken debuff on the enemy. On top of that, she gets to heal the team, allowing her to apply sturdiness, which is another 25% damage reduction. So all in all, fantastic. And to top it all off, she has this final ultimate, which offers dazed on the target for 1 round, meaning the enemy cannot act. So overall, a fantastic unit and definitely deserving of the S tier ranking. And that will summarize pretty much the top endgame S tier units on the tier list for global release. Of course, there are tons of different units that are really good as well. However, due to time, we won't cover everything. We'll just go over the top, the best. And of course, if you are a waifu or husband lover, don't follow the tier list. Just pull for whatever you want. And of course, with the release of more characters, and CN is currently on patch 1.4, there will be other units that will be stronger. For example, Sotheby, which is a unit that is currently in the A tier, right? She will definitely be a core unit on the poison team, and past 1.2, definitely a S tier unit as well after that. So we'll be constantly updating this. Let me know your thoughts if this helped you. It's a quick rundown on the S tier units and why they're so good, and hopefully this gives you a better understanding of the game, and we'll have more team comps and more guys coming up, and hopefully I will see you guys in the next video, and goodbye now.